Hello, my name is Juan Pablo Narvaez Gomez. I am a botanist and a visitor at the Department of Plant Sciences of the University of Cambridge and working at the Forest Ecology and Conservation Group. As you may know, climate warming is already visible for all of us. The weather is changing fast, with unexpected heat waves and less chilling winters. Plants are blossoming sooner. Migrant birds can be spotted at unusual times along the year, and atypical events are occurring across all kinds of landscapes and ecosystems around the world. For example, in the depths of the tropical rainforests of South America, woody climbing plants, the lianas, are becoming more abundant and dominant in some regions. Climate warming is making the hot and dry seasons longer and diminishing water availability. Lianas are prospering under these conditions because they have an astounding capacity to resist drought and grow fast. As a consequence, the tropical rainforest landscape is changing, and we need to understand how these changes are going to affect ecosystem functioning and biodiversity. However, we still know few about where lianas live and where it is more probable for them to multiply. So we are unprepared either to protect them or avoid them if necessary. But how can we find these climbing plants? In general, to find a plant, we can use what we already know about the weather they prefer, the soil in which they grow, and the other species on which they depend. Imagine each one of these kinds of information as the threads from which you can weave a plant-catching net. Imagine each dot represents the specific conditions at the localities at which plant specimens can be found. If we want our net to be successful, we need to have a high number of threads and knots so the plant cannot escape easily. The higher the number of threads and knots, the more detailed our plant catching net is, and the closer we are to the species' survival requirements, so it is more difficult for our plant to escape. This grid-like structure can be thrown upon the map of a region to identify places that have similar conditions to those required by the plant, and thus being highly probable for its occurrence. This is called a species distribution model, and is very useful not only to make an educated guess about where to find a plant, but also to estimate how severe climate warming could be to it. The shrinking and expansion of these conditions in the geographical region of interest tell us about the risk the plant has to disappear or multiply in the future when temperature increases and changes the weather across the continent. I am a digital liana hunter, and I use computers to weave these plant-catching nets and identify the places in which these lianas are distributed in South America.